The absolute best investment to make as a woman in your 30s or any age. Are you in or approaching your 30s and you're wondering where you should invest? Do you sometimes wonder if you're behind when it comes to investing financially and you want to make sure that you're on the right track? If you want to build generational wealth and achieve success, you're in the right place, because in this video, I'm going to tell you the absolute best investment to make as a woman in your 30s or any age. Hey, CourtneyLSanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time online life and business coach, as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things, truly. And I'm also in my 30s. My youth is escaping me. No, not really, but I'm now officially in my mid-30s. Well, I'll tell you this, I'm officially so far in my 30s that I've stopped telling people how old I am, right? When I first turned 30, it was all cute, like, hey guys, I'm 30. And then 31 was kind of like, oh, whatever, we're early 30s. And now we're trucking along and I'm just like, I'm in my 30s. I'm in my early mid-30s, okay? So anyway, I figured it would be fun to do this video to talk about the best investment you can make as a woman in your 30s. Obviously, this applies if you're watching at any age. I know I have some women who are as young as teenagers, maybe in high school, thinking about the careers that they want to get into, and they watch my videos, and I have women all the way up in their 70s or 80s. So none of this information is not applicable to you regardless of your age, but I do think you're definitely in a sweet spot if you're in your 30s, and I'll tell you why. But first, I know you want to know, what is the best investment that you can make? And you could probably guess what I'm going to say, but I tell you this as someone who has made all the investments and is making all the investments. So I've invested in real estate. I have real estate properties. I am a stock market investor. I trade options. I do all kinds of things. The only thing I haven't done yet is invested in businesses outside of my business, but that's something that I'm looking to get into in the very near future. And obviously I've invested in my own business. And as someone, again, who has invested all over the board, I can tell you, especially as a woman in her 30s, that the best investment that you can make right now is, drum roll please, in you. Yes, the best investment a woman in her 30s or any age can make is simply in yourself. And I personally think the best investment in yourself you can make is the investment of a business. And the best business investment that you can make, I believe, is in a personal brand and in a coaching brand. So I talk about this all the time because, one, I think coaching businesses are so lifestyle friendly for women, shall we say. Often as women, we have children, we have family responsibilities, and we just don't always have the time necessary to just lock in and do one thing. We have a bunch of stuff going on all the time. And so I love running a coaching business because it gives me that flexibility where I can work on it in the morning, I can work on it in the afternoon, I can work on it in the evening. I really can shape it around my own lifestyle. But most importantly, I think building a coaching business and building a personal brand is one of the greatest investments you can make because it does not require a lot of overhead. I mean, when you think about starting a business, a brick and mortar business, you have to get a commercial lease, purchase equipment, have inventory. I mean, there are many businesses that you literally can't start unless you have a angel investor or some sort of venture capital or at least a big commercial loan. But creating an online business based on your personal brand is one of the few businesses you literally can start today. Like, you can decide, this is a business that I want to go into, and you can start it right now. And so I say that it is an amazing investment, particularly in your 30s, for a few reasons, and we'll get into those right now. Okay, the first reason why I think investing in yourself, and particularly investing in your brand and coaching business as a woman in your 30s, is one of the best investments you can make right now, is because in your 30s, you now have a level of credibility, I think, that transcends to all different people in different age groups all across the spectrum, right? When you're younger, oftentimes you relate to a lot of younger people, but sometimes it can be difficult to relate to older people, especially if they do, again, have family and personal responsibilities and all the different things that you might not have early on. I remember when I was getting started and I was building my coaching brand, I was primarily focused around millennial women, but I did have some older women who were interested in what I was offering even then. So like I said, building your brand and doing this investment now is a great time to do it regardless of how old you are. But I did used to get some comments where women were like, you know, how do I know this is going to work for me when I'm busy, right? I have a full-time job, I have kids, I have a spouse, I have all these different things going on. And before I had all those things, I was kind of dismissive, not because I meant to be, but because I just didn't know better, right? It was out of ignorance because I was not in that life situation. And so I was just kind of like, oh, this works for everybody and it's not a big deal and just do it and it'll work out and whatever, that's just kind of, oh, don't worry about it, right? That was my approach. But now that I know what it's like to, stay up all night because you're nursing a baby or having to move cross country because your husband's job relocated him or having kids that are in school and then having to time all of your work around, drop off and pickups and the pickup line is super long and you have to get there early. Like all these little subtle nuances that oftentimes you would not know unless you're in the throes of that lifestyle. I now recognize that now, right? And so when you're in your 30s, oftentimes you will have at least began to experience a lot of these things. And so it gives you a greater credibility, again, on both ends of the spectrum. And I talk about this a little bit when I talk about how to find a business coach or mentor. And I say that it's really important not just to find someone who knows the things that you want to know, but who's also living the lifestyle that you want to live. This is part of the reason. Do they have experience in navigating all the subtleties of your particular lifestyle? And so I find that when you're in your 30s, you're still young enough to relate to, the 20s and even the teens, but you're old enough where people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s still respect you. And they're like, okay, I see where she's coming from. She got some experience under her belt. So again, not saying you can't invest in yourself and build a brand if you're not in your 30s, but if you're entering in your 30s like I am or starting to get into your mid 30s and you're wondering if it's too late, because oftentimes we start to think that in our 30s, oh, I didn't start it by now. Is it too late? No, it's not too late. Now is actually a perfect time because you do have that level of credibility just by virtue of your age and your life experience. All right, the second reason why now is a great time to make this investment in yourself as a woman in your 30s is because you do have those experiences and now you have some experiences that you can package. So I was fortunate that I had some pretty pivotal experiences early on. I really started my brand very, very early, starting at 19. And so because I started so early and kind of went through some things, I had a level of experience that I could package and then launch into a coaching brand in my mid 20s. But I understand that my story is not necessarily the norm. For many people in their teens and their 20s, they're kind of stumbling about, trying to figure out what they want to do with their life, and there's nothing wrong with that. But by the time you're in your 30s, you have some experience under your belt, or if you're like me, you got a few gray hairs starting to sprout. And, sometimes I look in the mirror and it makes me frustrated because I'm like, oh, what are these gray hairs doing? But other times I look in the mirror and I really like them because I feel like even though it's a few, 3 or 4 wisps, I feel like it really does represent the level of wisdom that is starting to manifest in my life. Like I look at those gray hairs sometimes and I'm like, you know what, girl, you earned those, right? Because when you were in your 20s, you didn't have no gray hairs because you didn't know nothing, right? But now that I'm in my 30s, I definitely learn a lot more. I feel like I learn so much faster. And it's not just that I have information, but I know how to apply that information again, which is that level of wisdom. And so because you have this wisdom, because you have this experience, now you got some stuff that you can package. So oftentimes women in their 30s and beyond discount all of the things that they've been through, but maybe you've got some experience under your belt when it comes to relationships. Maybe you've got some experience under your belt when it comes to health and fitness. Maybe you've had a child or two, and so you know what it means and what it takes to get back healthy after having a baby. Maybe you have some experiences by now in your career. You've worked your way up. You're in middle management or even upper management or director level, and you can start to share that wisdom. And certainly if you're in business like me, maybe you've got some entrepreneurial experiences that you can start to package. So I find that, again, now you're in your sweet spot because you have some experiences that you can really start to mold into a coaching business that would be highly beneficial for you. Okay, I have a lot more tips where that came from, but first I want to hear from you. What age group are you in, and are you looking to invest in yourself? Go ahead and share in the comments below. Okay, another reason why being in your 30s is a great time to start your brand and to invest in yourself. And again, particularly for this point, I'm not counting you out, but I will say that when you're in your 30s and when you're in your 40s too and 50s, so I'm not counting you out, but especially when you're in your 30s, again, you're old enough to have that experience and that level of credibility with your age, but you're young enough where you still have time to enjoy and leverage all the fruits of your brand. So my brand has been super instrumental for me. It's really changed my life, and it's become the cornerstone of my financial legacy that I'm leaving my kids, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I now am old enough to take advantage of it, but young enough to really leverage it and experience it long term. So when you're in your 30s, you still have a lot of energy. I find that I have most of the horsepower that I did in my 20s. I'd say like 85%, on a good day, 90% of the horsepower that I had in my 20s, but you still have time, right? So you're just a decade removed from your 20s. You still have time, God willing, maybe into your 90s or your 100s. So you still have a 60, 70 year roadmap well out in front of you. And so that should be motivation. And I say this because I'm always amazed by how many 30-year-olds I come across who are so down in the dumps about what they didn't do in their 20s. And, are they too old? Are they washed up? Is it, too late for them to get started? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, knock on wood, you're going to live to like 90s or 100s or even beyond, especially if we, eat healthier and, learn to take advantage of all the medical advancements and technology and different things going on. For all we know, you might live to be 120. Like, you're only 30. You have such a long runway in front of you. How great would it be to invest in yourself now, invest in your business now, invest in your brand now? And even if it takes you an entire decade, even if it takes you into your 40s in order to get that brand off the ground, you still have most of your life ahead of you where you can take advantage of all the fruits of your labor. So being in your 30s is really a fantastic thing. It's not over. In fact, now is a great time to get started. All right, and the last reason why being in your 30s is really fantastic when it comes to investing in yourself and building in your brand is because of all the amazing things that a brand can do for you. And so again, I talked about how you have that window of time, you have a long runway where you get to take advantage of it, but time is on your side. And so you can leverage your brand in so many ways. For me, just this year alone, I've been leveraging my brand and my business to get into other investments. I have been investing in real estate and have new rental properties that I am now invested in that I was able to do because of my business brand and because of the profits from my business. I'm now an active investor in the stock market. I understand stocks way more than I did when I was just getting started or when I was just investing a little bit from my salary at work. I am getting into trading as well, options trading, a little bit of Bitcoin. I'm starting to research other businesses, and I'm thinking about international businesses that I either want to do joint ventures with or that I want to directly invest in. So these are businesses that I won't start, but businesses that I see, and I just want to come in as an investor and become a minority owner in these businesses. So these are all things that are available to me. And again, taking advantage of what I talked about in the last point in terms of that runway of time, there's so much that I can do now because I have this brand off the ground. There's so much that I can take advantage of because I invested in myself and I invested in myself early. And so again, I say this to you, if you're watching this and you're older than your 30s or older than your 40s, now is always better than later, right? So some degree of what I'm saying can still work out for you, right? If you're in your 70s and you have a good 30 years left on this planet, I would rather invest in my brand now and have, 25 years to really take advantage and see the fruits of my labor and create something that I'm going to be able to leave to my family. But especially if you're in your 30s, again, you have 70 years ahead of you, God willing. If you're in your 40s, you have 60 years ahead of you, God willing. If you're in your 50s, you have half your life in front of you, God willing. And so there's so many things that a brand can do for you. I don't even think people realize it. I talk about this as well in my How to Travel the World for Free on business credit cards. And I talk about how I use my brand to leverage business credit cards and then get those travel points. And I've traveled to places like Madrid, London, Tokyo, Paris, Germany, the Netherlands, Tel Aviv, Dubai. Like, we just went to Tel Aviv and Dubai, business class tickets on Emirates because of the points on my business credit card, and I would not have been able to take advantage of them had it not been for my brand and business. So I'm telling you, you want to make this investment in yourself now if you can. There's so much that you can leverage and that you can do with it. And also, I love personal branding and coaching and investing in yourself in this way versus only investing in yourself from a standpoint of like real estate or stock investing, because your brand is still a part of you, and so it grows with you. So who knows, when I get older and all my hair is gray, maybe I'll partner with like a hair care line and we'll come out with like a gray hair care line, right? I can do that, and I can still do it under my Courtney Sanders brand. In the future, I want to have merchandise. I've thought about doing clothing partnerships or stationery and planner partnerships. I want to have a fragrance line. Like, there's so many different ways. And so as I grow myself and get into new things, I can pivot my brand, right? Maybe I want to come up with an entrepreneurial educational line for kids, and it's something that parents can buy for their kids and teaching their kids how to start businesses, if that's something that I do down the future. Like, your brand is infinitely expandable. And so again, you're in your 30s, you have a level of experience, you've got that credibility, you've got all this time in front of you, and your brand could do so much in terms of helping you build generational wealth. What are you waiting for, right? You want to start your brand right now. Now, one of the key things that you need in order to build your brand is you got to get clear on your niche. That's the one thing that you have to get clear on. And so if you've heard my story before, you know that when I first got started, I started in self-discipline. And so that was my story, and I used that to open up doors for me and to grow my brand and to eventually get into general life coaching and then business coaching and all these different things. So if you're not sure what your initial niche is, you need to join me in my free 5-day Nail Your Niche Challenge. Now, it's free as of this recording, but I can't guarantee that it'll be free forever because I teach things in this challenge that typically I only teach to paying clients. And not only is it free, but not free forever, I've limited the amount of people that can register every time that we do it because we do have an option where you can upgrade and get direct one-on-one feedback and coaching from me after the sessions each day. And I want to make sure that everybody who participates is able to get the personalized attention that they need. So if you click the link below and you see that it's a wait list, and that means the challenge is over for now, but if you see that it is open, go ahead and register. If you see that we have some spots left, go ahead and grab one of those spots. When the spots hit 0, we shut it down and we turn on the wait list and you won't be able to participate. So go ahead and click the link right now, and if you see some spots open, go ahead and join. All right, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And if you can't wait till my next video, or you just want to see how I'm navigating my 30s, come on over to Instagram, check me out. I'm always posting the behind the scenes of my life. If you can't wait for that, then follow me on my podcast. Subscribe on both iTunes and Spotify. It's The Courtney Sanders Show. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.